Those getting married, ask your spouse, hey, what are your love languages? How do you receive love? And for me, I'm telling you, almost 99% of the time, men realize that they were wrong in how they thought their wife received love. Because
Welcome to Kingdom Hub, where we bring to you transformative and powerful messages from Apostle Stephanie Ike Okafor. We promise that as you watch, your life will be transformed. Please kindly like, share, and subscribe. Thank you.
a godly husband is a learner. 1 Peter 3:7, it says, likewise, husbands, we just read this, but I'll read this again. Live with your wives in an understanding way, right? Live with them with understanding. What is it talking about? Gain knowledge, right? Learn your wife, don't compare her. Learn, don't compare. This is very critical because sometimes a man might expect the woman to think like him, to process like him, to receive love the way he gives love. So when she says, I don't feel loved, I don't feel seen, you're confused, and you start telling her all the things you've done for her, not realizing she's not receiving it the way you're giving it. And so in order for you to live with your wife in a cool, happy, joyful environment, learn her, understand her, right? And there's a wisdom that has been given to many, even through books like the 5 love languages. When last, for those who are married, and when, for those getting married, ask your spouse, hey, what are your love languages? How do you receive love? And for me, I'm telling you, almost 99% of the time, men realize that they were wrong in how they thought their wife received love. Because they're thinking, the way I give it is how you receive it. Because for a man, he's like, oh, we hang out all the time. Like, I'm with you all the time. This should show that I love you, right? Or even when you think about sex, right? For the man, he could be, the way he's thinking that she's like, oh my gosh, she should know how much I love her in this moment. And for her, there's something else that she wants. But communication is key when you make room for it, right? And so ask your spouse, how do you receive love? What are your love languages? Even when it comes to, even sexually, find out from them, what do you like? What do you enjoy? Right? Because listen, if you're listening to this, we're grown. Okay? And if you're not grown, you're going to be grown one day. It's not just about getting to a finish line, right? It's not just about a climax. There are things that you want to learn about your spouse. And so be a learner. Live with your wives in an understanding way. God did not create the man and woman to process the same. Women tend to be more emotional, right? And men tend to be more bottom line. But find out, learn them, because when you learn them, it will deepen the bond. Now, what I am not saying is that this is an excuse for toxic behavior. No. I'm not saying that you should just, applaud your wife when she's doing things in a toxic way, but you can learn the trauma that was at the root of that behavior. And when you learn, find out, babe, why do you act like? Is there something that happened? And the Lord will give you wisdom on how to approach this topic without her, coming off defensive, right? But your heart posture should be a desire not to just change her overnight, because it doesn't happen that way, but to learn, why does she do it this way? So when you have conversations with her, to say, man, babe, I've noticed this pattern. Was there something that happened that triggered it? Or are there things that I do that might be triggers? And why is that a trigger? Learn what is the trauma behind it. Because remember, you are not fighting your spouse. You are fighting whatever is against the union. So if there's trauma that is causing, toxic patterns in the home, the trauma is what you're fighting against as a union. So when you discover what happened, now you're more equipped in how to best serve your wife. Is it therapy? Is it pastoral counseling? What are areas that you can serve her for her to grow and flourish and break the stronghold of that trauma, right? Now, number 3, a godly husband is a loyal partner. right? Hebrews 13:4. Let marriage be held in honor among all, and let the marriage bed be undefiled, for God will judge the sexually immoral and adulterous. Now, you can't honor your marriage while making excuses for dishonorable behavior, right? You see, for example, there are some men who believe that there's nothing wrong with being friends with their exes. They have they feel confident, like, no, that was in the past, X, Y, and Z. But here's what you have to understand. Boundaries are not because you don't trust yourself, right? It's not that you put boundaries because you feel you have feelings for your ex, for example. No, boundaries are to protect you from crossing a line as a default response when the lesser you shows up. What do I mean by that? When the you who just had an argument with your wife shows up. When the you know, marriage is real. Your wife, maybe she's, she's pregnant and she's just in a space where pregnancy can bring out very interesting things in women, right? You might be horny and she's just not willing. When a lesser you shows up, when a you that is triggered by a situation where your desire is not being met, if you don't have boundaries in place, then your default response would be to cross the line. So now when you had an argument with your wife, for example, and you're upset and you're this, now you're texting your ex. And you, even though you feel like you don't have feelings, you have no clue what's on the other side of that phone, where she's feeling, and the manipulation that can take place, right? And so you place boundaries not for when you're strong. You have boundaries for when you're weak. So it's consistent, that you don't default to a behavior that could cross the line. You see, something I've learned is that sexual immorality is often the fruit of a lack of physical and mental boundaries. Where there is no boundaries, that's why people are like, oh, it was a mistake. I didn't mean it. I didn't da-da-da-da-da. How was it? There was no gun to your head? You know how it was a mistake? You had no boundaries. If you're dating right now and you're dating someone who you consider to marry, and you're still flirting with all kinds of women that many people in your life do not know you're in a relationship, you're not serious. You have no boundaries. And that behavior is going to show up in your marriage. If you have an issue when your girlfriend or your fiance tells you that they're not comfortable with you being close to your ex, you're not ready, because there's sacrifice involved to protect your home, to protect the purity of your home. If you're going to be loyal, your loyalty is not based on you when you're strong. Loyalty is revealed when you're weak. And you have no clue the you that will show up when you're weak. You have no clue the version of you that will show up when the woman you're head over heels, in love with, annoys you to a point that you don't even want to be around her. If you have no boundaries, that's when the enemy slides in, right? And so have boundaries to protect the purity of your union. Number 4, he's a provider. 1 Timothy 5:8 says, but if anyone does not provide for his own, especially for those of his household, he has denied the faith and is worse than an unbeliever. That's strong. That is strong. Now, I would say this as a disclaimer, right? There are different dynamics when it comes to family, especially, cultural context and where you live and things like that. If you live in the United States, for instance, I'm Nigerian, having a maid and a nanny in Nigeria is very, very affordable. Having that in America, not so much. So there are situations where in marriages, the man, let's say, for example, the woman is earning higher than the man, right? And her income is able to sustain the family. Rather than, him using his salary for like a nanny or things like that, he might decide to be a stay-at-home dad. But there's understanding in the home. He's not doing it from a place of laziness, right? It's from a place of strategy. Okay, a parent gets to be hands-on with the kids, right? And we can work out our finances. We have a structure, we have a system in place. That's beautiful. There's also situations where the man has sacrificed for years for his family and he wants to pursue a dream in his heart. And they're financially stable enough for that, for him to do that, where he's not working and he's just investing into this goal or this dream of his. That's not what we're talking about. What we're speaking about is a man who chooses to be idle, who chooses to be lazy. And the consequence is his family experiencing lack. That is a problem. And what the Bible says concerning such a person is that you are worse than an unbeliever. That is a problem. And you see, you can't even make the excuse, I have this dream, I have this goal, I have this. You can dream and earn. You can be a creative and earn. And one of the problems that I think men have when it comes to ego and pride, right? Because your dream, your vision, it's gonna work, especially if you have strategy and you really have thought and you're really working hard at it. It will work. But for a season, you might need to take on a job that is beneath you if it will provide for your family, right? The job may be during the weekends. It may be nighttime, it may be daytime, something. It doesn't mean that, because your wife may be bringing in income, but she needs help. And the help that she needs, a little goes a long way. It may even be a weekend job, but a little goes a long way. And here is the lie of the enemy. The lie of the enemy is that to take a job that is beneath your standards, beneath your intelligence, beneath your experiences, diminishes who you are as a man. But here's the truth of the Holy Spirit. It strengthens who you are as a husband. It's not diminishing you. It strengthens your position as a husband. Your wife cannot be breaking her back and you're doing nothing to help because you're creative or you're a dreamer. You can do that and earn, right? You can strategize, use that creative ability and think through some things that would bring income. It doesn't mean it has to be, grand, but it's helping the home. That's what this is about. This is not about the man being, having the highest income of the home. No, it's that he is a provider. He can provide on some level for his home, right? And the goal for the man should not be to stay at just any level. You should have a vision in play. You should have a vision in mind. You should have a strategy in mind to see your family being taken care of. That is why the Bible talks about a good man leaves an inheritance for his children's children, generational wealth, right? So while you're in a season, and it's seasons, let me encourage you, for the men who are just trying to get things together, it's going to be a season. That dream God put in your heart will happen. That idea God gave you will happen if you if you work it, right? Don't be idle. Don't get lazy. Don't get comfortable with, your woman taking care of you. No, contribute. Work at what work at the thing that's in your heart, but contribute in some capacity, right? Doesn't have to be much, but contribute while you work out the vision. Now, number 5, he is a protector. Ephesians 5:28 says, so husbands ought to love their own wives as their own bodies. He who loves his wife loves himself. Now, I will say this. If you have ever laid hands on your wife, or you've ever laid hands on a woman that you loved, I understand that sometimes women can just, they can nag at you and they can get on your nerves. But if you've ever laid hands on your wife, she's not the problem. You are. Because it says he who loves his wife loves himself. To lay hands on your wife is a reflection of your self-hate. You can walk out of the room. You can disconnect yourself from the situation. But to lay hands on her, you are the problem and you need help. If you recognize that you are dealing with self-hate, do not rush to get married, because you're setting up a woman to be abused. If you're dealing with self-hate, you can't stand the things you do. You criticize yourself I mean, like everybody would say I'm my own worst critic, but you really beat yourself down, right? Like you just, as plain and simple, you hate yourself. There are many things about you that you always, you're always constantly in this place of guilt and in this box of shame. Get help. Maybe you need to go through therapy. Maybe you need to talk to your pastor. Maybe you need to, open up and talk to some men who you can be accountable with, who can sharpen you, who you can be vulnerable with and transparent with. Do not do that to a woman. Because you might say, no, I've never touched a woman before. If you hate yourself, it's going to show in your marriage. It's going to show in your marriage. A man who lays hands on his woman, a man who mistreats his wife, actually is the evidence of self-hate. Take time to work on you. Heal what was broken. It's not that you have to be perfect to get married, but this is a serious thing. If you hate yourself, heal before you get into a marriage. And if you're already in a marriage and your blind spot is to think that the woman is the problem, let me tell you right now, you are the problem. No matter how she talks to you, no matter what she did to you, to touch your wife. That's why the Bible was very specific in this. It says, love your own wives as your own body. He who loves his wife loves himself. You cannot touch her and say, oh, you're a good man, she just annoyed you. No, you don't really like yourself. And that's not to shame or condemn you, no. It's the awareness brings healing. If you're aware that there is something deep down in me that is deeply broken and wounded, then you would work on fixing that and not blame shifting.